OKC is really two people, Jalen Williams, um, and Shea. But with OKC, because they play such a one-on-one type of style, that ball is sticking to their hands, right? And so thinking about, Indiana and what they did with Shea, he was 9 for 20 tonight. I want y'all to talk about just his play. Like, what does he need to do more of, right, to get OKC over the hump?
Man, I mean, I actually don't want them to win, so I actually don't think they're. I love OKC. I think Shea is dope. Like I said, at times he's better than MJ, but I don't want to give anything. I want to actually get the wrong information. Like, hey, put it in your legs and go behind your back.
All right, let's talk about Hungerburn.
No, I got some.
You got a gym? Give me a gym.
Because my thing is this: as someone who comes from a system of like, you got Steph Curry. At times, Steph Curry gonna be the guy and do everything that Steph Curry does. But at times, you have to know when to use Steph Curry against everyone else, and we're not really trying to use Steph Curry. So, as someone who's lived through that, and I see what's going on in the series, I think honestly, and I think Shea got to be more aggressive. I don't. When I watch that game tonight, I'm like, when's Shea gonna come? When he gonna pause? When he gonna when is Shea going to do what we know Shea to do? And as someone who's been in these situations, don't get it twisted. You can hear somebody say Shea shooting too much is going to hurt them and try to lessen it a little bit. This is human nature. And when I watched that game tonight, I never felt like Shea said, I'm taking over this game, I'm going to win this game and do that. And so I said all of that to say, as much as I think ball, like, I come from a system of like, you move the ball, you hit the open man, and that's that. That's not their system. And so what I would say is, to Shea, don't fall into the trap of the world, because the media around the NBA Finals is bigger than any NBA game media in the history.
Right.
Don't fall into the trap of what the world is saying of like, yo, he's shooting too much, he fouled bait. Fuck that.
You got to hit the flow of the game.
Yeah, shoot it 35
times. You gotta go for it.
It's true. It's like my rhythm when I played with Kobe. I only got one title, but during that time, I had to be the best role player I could be. So sometimes I had to shoot the shot that was in rhythm, even though I wasn't in rhythm. I didn't feel comfortable because I'm not taking 20 shots like I'm used to. And on top of that, sometimes I would miss and I would have to go 2 or 9. And then the media is like, why are you shooting? Oh, don't shoot. Then you got the arena listening to the media. And the arena is like, no, don't shoot you over. But I gotta shoot it.
Right.
Because in flow and Powell is going towards the offensive boards right now. So if his big is coming out, if I shoot it, now he got a chance to rebound it, which he's done before, right? So it's like, it's true. Now in Shea and SGA's role, same thing. You can't listen to what other people say. You gotta do what's best for your team.
So in saying that, because what you must understand is, I watch these things as a 16-year-old, and I remember, but I've always been interested in the game, right? Like what they're saying about the game. And so I remember watching you play in those finals and watching you play in those playoffs. And when you shot the 3 on the right wing, everybody like, why would he shoot that 3?
Bang.
Yeah, in real time.
Bang.
Conference.
Is that, and I've heard the stories, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I've heard the stories of like, you left the arena right after that in your jersey, in your uniform, and went to the spot. Is that the thing that led to the feeling of like, yeah, I'm out of here. I don't need to shower. I don't need to do anything. I'm going to this club in LA, which was Greystone at the time. I'm going and do this right now in my uniform because I know what that feels like. Is that the thing that led you to like all of those actions?
Not really. Well, after game 6, I got a little lifting. I want to throw that in there. I went right to Equinox and got a little lifting because I wanted enough time to recover. So I left the Staples, got to Equinox at about 10:15, got a quick lift in, and then that carried over to game 7. You know what I mean? Got the lift in. And then when we won, I mean, for me, it was like I felt like I would never win a title because I was so immature. I put my team at risk of losing. I had no emotional control for a long time. So when I won it, I was like, damn, I actually won it. Like I didn't even realize we won until I looked at the clock. And when the clock said 0-0, I'm like, oh, we really won. You know what I mean? So my mind was just all over the place. And I just was, I always wanted one. I never really won. I did want more, but I always said I want one. And then like I was gonna be happy on it. Maybe if I'd have said I want 2 or 3, maybe I'd have got 2 or 3, but I was really happy. And like that summer I partied. I drank the next year we got swept. We got swept by Dallas.
Hey, that's funny. That's funny. But I think when I take a step back and I look at those series, I'll be honest with you. This year, and I've already said this on this podcast, this year Julius Randle completely bust my ass. Like nothing I could do about it. I made him take shots I wanted him to take. I did the things I wanted to do. He completely bust my ass. But I'll be honest. When Steph went out of the lineup, Steve asked me to, Draymond, we need you to push the ball down the floor every time we get the ball as if we're on a fast break and somebody missed a shot. Because we need to create advantage and we need to create mismatches. And if you just push it the way you push it, we'll create the mismatch and then we can get the ball to someone who can take advantage of the mismatch. And so that was my whole focus in the series. Is like I'm gonna just get it soon as if it go in or if we miss, I'm coming back to the ball, I'm get it, I'm gonna push. We'll figure it out after. And I will say to you, I haven't said this to anyone in the world, but they'll know it now. When Steph went out, it was like, oh, I need to push the ball like that and I need to score. And in my career, I haven't really been in that situation much where like I need to push the ball, I need to anchor the defense, and I need to score. And so when we got into that situation, I could push the ball, I could anchor the defense, or I could push the ball, I could score. Anchoring the defense was a little tougher, right? Like those things played a part into who I was. How did you go about being Ron Artest, who scored 20 points a game, 22 points a game in the NBA, to Metta World Peace, who may score 8 points or may score 4 points, but I'm gonna lock your guy up. I'm gonna bring that physicality because to me, it's the first time in my career actually where I had to like do all of those things, and it was.
It was difficult.
You look at what happened to us; it was impossible.
It was difficult, like to go. Imagine in your prime contract year, you're in your prime, and that's what was really difficult. Is like, I'm like, damn, I can't really show nothing. There's no room, like. So I said, you know what? I'm a role player for the rest of my career. I gotta hear people say, how am I getting old from the year prior? I was averaging 25 in the playoffs, and then I got worse in 6 months. How hard I didn't get worse in 6 months. people like he old now. I'm like, damn, I can't even back myself up, but I can't.
Wow.
And then you got Kobe. Kobe, like, I don't care what they saying. Bring that ball to me. Metta go in that corner. And you stay there. But it was tough. But you know what? I was like, that was the toughest experience I had. And I said, I'm just going to be the best role player. And I learned more from that than, when I had the opportunities to score.
No, most definitely.
Man, talk about, I always wondered, you play for Houston. You lost to the Lakers. They beat you. Then you wind up joining the Lakers. Did Kobe reach out to you? Like, what made you want to go to the Lakers? How did that transpire?
Well, initially, I didn't want to go to the Lakers. I never wanted to go to the Lakers. Like, I had opportunity that people called me and, whatever. I don't want to keep talking about it, but I always wanted to play against people. So I tried to go back to Indiana. I was always trying to go back. Well, first I was trying to go back to Houston. I want to get into it. I was supposed to go back to Houston. And then things happened, which is just incredibly annoying. Then I said, okay, what's next? I'm always trying to think about the Knicks, but then Donnie Walsh was at the Knicks at that time. So I threw a quick signal out there. That didn't work. Donnie was there. We had the issues in the history in Indiana. So then I tried to go to back to Indiana, but those conversations quickly went to, it was still fresh in people's mind and heart. Then I tried to go to Detroit. That's what I was trying to. And then they was like, nah, we can't. Too much history. I said, listen, this is going to be epic. Ron Artest with an Artest on the back of a Detroit jersey. I said, y'all missing the whole point. This is legendary. They were scared. I'm like, I'm not worried about it. I got people in Detroit. I love Detroit. When I go to Detroit, I got people, they love me in Detroit. Like the fans, they go crazy in Detroit. Like I literally got fans in Detroit. So then that didn't happen. And then, but the first team that called me was the Lakers. The Lakers called at 12:01. I was like, they called me. My agent was like, David Bauman, hey, the Lakers want to speak to you. And the first thing I said, I was like, for fucking what? That's the first thing I said to my agent. These niggas just beat us. I don't even fuck with these niggas, right? So he was like, they want to sign you. I'm like, what? The Lakers? I said, I gotta call you back. I'm like, damn, like Dr. Bus, Phil Jackson. I'm like, this is crazy. Met with Dr. Bus that morning. We chatted. He was like, yo, I can't pay you, but what you deserve. We only got the mid. And I was like, don't even worry about it. Like, this is incredible. That's how I got to the Lakers.
That's killer.
Yeah, that's how I got to the Lakers.
That's fire.